Southern Girl Knits, episode 15. Needed to check that out. It is Friday. I have no idea what the day of today is. Everything has blurred together because we have been iced in all week long here in central Arkansas. We didn't get snow. Well, we got a little bit of snow, but 90% of what we got was ice. And it's been horrible. So the kids, well, not horrible that the kids are home. The ice is horrible. There have been tons of accidents. The kids have been home from school all but one day. My husband's been home from work. I think he might have made it to work 2 days this week. Maybe one. I'm not sure. Seriously, we haven't left the house all week long. It's crazy. They called school off like 5 minutes before my son's bus was supposed to run. Yeah, it's like that. So it's been kind of crazy. Hopefully it will all calm down because tomorrow is Saturday and it's the father-daughter dance at my church hosts that for fathers and daughters. So my husband is taking our daughter to the father-daughter dance tomorrow. Yay. Maybe I'll get some pictures for you and show them to you next week. Oh, I'm Tish. You should know I do this every week. I forget to introduce myself. I'm Tish. I'm Tish Knits 33 on Ravelry. I am Tish Knits on Instagram, which is where you'll find me a lot. And for those of you who are joining me once again, welcome. Thank you so much for coming back. And for those of you who are trying me for the first time, this is not normally where I record because of it being snow days. I am back in the bedroom. I've been shut away. It was either this or I wasn't going to be able to record until next week. So, and honestly, I have so much to tell you and so much to show you that I didn't want to wait. It wasn't worth it. I wanted you to see all the things and hear all the things. So, with that, we'll get started. Okay, my lid to my cup wasn't on. That could have been a big mess. I'm drinking those of you from the 90s will remember, do you remember Clearly Canadian? The bubbly water with flavor. And then it just disappeared sometime in the end of the 90s. And so now Walmart has their brand called Clear American or something. I don't know. But it's no calories and it has flavor and it's really, really good. And we're totally addicted to it in this house because we don't drink Coke. I say Coke, I'm in the South. Coke is an all-encompassing term for soda or pop or soda pop. So we don't drink any kind of Coke beverage type product. We're usually milk, juice, water drinkers. And since this is sugar-free, caffeine-free, basically it's kind of like Perrier and they add flavor to it. Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. It's good. And I've got a little bit of a sore throat. I guess all this weather, it's just I woke up a little bit scratchy this morning. So, I don't know. So sorry if I have to drink a lot, which probably won't be a problem because I think I'm almost out of my drink. Should have filled that up, right? Okay, so let's do a little bit of the knitting things that I've gotten done. First thing, in my little bag that was made by a friend, so I can't give you an Etsy shop name. A friend made it for me. It's my traveling socks. It's the ones that I keep in my purse. I take with me here, there, and everywhere. I decided, you'll be so proud of me, I decided to try the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. So one day, during one of these many ice days, kids are playing, and I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Right? Why not? I'm just gonna do it. I didn't do the whole pattern. I didn't do the Fish Lips pattern as far as the cutout for the foot, the whole how to make the perfect sock for your foot kind of a thing because, well, I don't know. I've just been making socks for so long and these are for Lainey, and I've literally, this child, I make so many socks for her that I've got hers down to an art. We'll talk about the sock that I messed up in a second. This one, though, is my standard sock that I'm doing for Lainey. So I cast on 60, I think I cast on 62 stitches. Yeah, 62 stitches on size 1 carbons. And just did the 1x1 rib here. And it looks like maybe a 5x2 for the cuff. And she likes the short cuff socks. That's just her preference. But let's see if I can get a good shot of this for you guys. There is my Fish Lips Kiss heel. Let's see. As you can tell, I literally turned the heel and then put it down. But seriously, it was so intimidating. And then once I started doing it, I'm like, this is so simple. Like, it really, really is. It's ingenious in its simplicity. Like, it's amazing. I don't know. And there's no holes. There's no gaps. Like, you know, like this is the line. Wait. Okay. You can see, right? You see the line where it's, okay, my finger's going the wrong way. But like you see, look, no holes, no gaps, nothing. I'm amazed. I love it. And I've gotten to the point where the standard sock, I'm actually wearing one. I'm going to take it off and show you. I'm going to show you my dirty sock. So this one has the standard heel flap where I knit this and did the turn and the gusset. I've gotten to where I've done so many afterthought heels and now this Fish Lips Kiss heel that I actually prefer the way those feel on my feet as opposed to a standard heel flap. So, which I always hear people saying that they have a preference as to what fits their foot the best and what feels the best. And for me, I think it's the afterthought heel, but now these are the Fish Lips Kiss for Lainey, but the next pair that I knit for myself, I'm going to do a Fish Lips Kiss and see if I prefer that to the afterthought. So we shall see, right? So, speaking of sock mishaps. So, you know I've been knitting my dad his socks, right? I was really excited. I got the yarn for Christmas. I cast him on Christmas Day. And I was like, yay, woohoo, I'm going to knit my dad's socks. I don't know what happened. I don't know where I went wrong because my dad and my husband, their foot size is very similar. So I had my husband try them on. Like, I mean, seriously, like I would knit a few inches and I'm like, try these on. Knit a few inches, try these on. And everything was going swimmingly until I got to the heel. And I did an afterthought heel. And I'm not sure at what point I totally screwed this up, and whenever I do an afterthought heel, I will take out the waist yarn. I will knit around a couple rows before I actually start decreasing for the heel. And I guess maybe I just did not go deep enough. Like usually I do 4 to 6 and I think maybe I only did 2 because it looked like it was deep enough and it was not. And I'm so sad. I did the heel. I had him try them on and they don't fit. They're not long enough. And I wanted to cry. I seriously wanted to cry. And I'm not really, I mean, obviously it's not a waste. I can find somebody. I mean, and both socks are finished. They're blocked. They're done. They're wonderful. These are the Mad Tosh sock. And I cannot remember the colorway. I'm so sorry. Usually I have the tag, but I've already washed and blocked them, so I've taken them out of their bag. And it was a joy to work with the yarn. They came out beautifully. So I guess now they're just going to go in the gift basket for someone who has feet this size. Which won't be hard to find, right? I mean, come on. Everybody has such different feet. So they're not a total loss. They're a total loss in the sense that they're not going to be for my dad, but that's okay because I have other socks on the needles that were going to go to my husband, but now they're going to go to my dad. I'm repurposing them. They're the Knit Picks socks that I'm knitting out of the Felici and the Rustic Cabin colorway. Remember those from last week? I didn't get anything done with them. That's why I didn't bring them in here to show you because my focus has been primarily on my sweater. Aren't you proud of me? But I have other things to show you before I get to that. I want to show you so I have to have socks on the needles, right? It's a sickness. It really is. I have to have socks on the needles. And so I have Laney socks, but those are my purse knitting. So I don't always have those with me at all times. So, because they're in my purse. And I'm kind of lazy. So I need them. I need a pair with my knitting stuff. So I have my Rainstorm Studio bag. And I pulled out that yarn. I don't know if y'all remember me talking about this probably 5 episodes ago at least. Oh my gosh, it's been forever. Do you remember this? The Wolf Restock. And it's made by Premier Yarns. And the colorway is Grand Canyon. Oh, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. Huh, I was wondering where I got it from. Sticker gave it away. I got it from Hobby Lobby. So it's wool free, which means that it's 93% acrylic and 7% PBT. I have no idea what that is. Is that some form of nylon maybe? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but this has got to be the craziest sock yarn I've ever knit with. And not in a bad way. Really, seriously, not in a bad way. The colors are beautiful. Like, seriously. They're very vibrant, and I'm knitting them on size 0s. The yarn is teeny tiny. Like, seriously. Like, look at this. How tiny is that? It's so tiny. And it's super, I don't want to say squishy. I think squishy would be a better word. It's almost like if you were to take a sock that just had like a high maybe silk and cashmere content to it. It has that feel to it. It's just luxurious feeling for something that's acrylic and PBT, whatever that is. I mean, seriously, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I started knitting it up and I was like, it's very slippery, which isn't bad. It has a high shine, which obviously isn't going to come through on the camera. But look how pretty that is. I was kind of hoping that it would stripe more because the picture, which is why I got this, because of the picture they show. Can you see? I was thinking that it would have more stripe and then the variegated and then solid stripe variegated, but it doesn't appear to be doing that. But that's okay because I like the colors. They're fun. And I'm calling these my sleepy time socks because they're literally just like, they're so soft. They're just so soft. And oh my gosh, they're just wonderful. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying these. Obviously, and you know that I do 2 at a time. So I've got 2 wee little cuffs and a wee little bit of the leg. I like mine a little bit longer than my daughter's, so these have a little while to go. And I've been doing other things. So these will probably be on my needles for a while, so you'll see them quite a bit, and that's okay. And I'm knitting them on my size 0 carbons. My size 0 carbons. And that, too, makes them take forever because normally I have kind of small feet, so I usually just cast on 64. But this yarn was so teeny tiny that I went ahead and cast on 72, and I'm kind of glad that I did because they fit perfectly. So, yeah, good call on that one. Only screw up 1 pair of socks a month, right? Okay. I am about ready. Okay, so I've actually been knitting on this today because hubby and I are sitting on the couch and watching The Hobbit. We decided to do kind of a marathon, a Hobbit marathon. So we are starting with Unexpected Journey, and we're just going to go from there. We're probably 3/4 of the way through the first one right now. And I was knitting on my Honey Cowl by Mad Tosh. And you hear my cat. You shut a door in this house, and the cat's like, oh my gosh, let me in. They can't stand a shut door. It's crazy. So this is the Honey Cowl. It's a free pattern by Madeline Tosh. And I don't have too much longer to go because I don't like the really wide cowls because I like to double wrap. And so I don't want it all up in my face. So I've been knitting on this today, kind of like knitting 2 or 3 rows and then looking at it, knitting 2 or 3 rows and looking at it, trying to decide when's a good time to bind off because I don't want to bind off too early. I still have a good bit of yarn. I mean, come on. So I hate to waste it. And I'm knitting these on, I believe these are size 8 chalgoos, the red cable chalgoos. And I'm using the Red Heart Boutique Unforgettable yarn that I got at Michael's. Yes, it was on sale at Michael's. And it's in the Meadow colorway. There we go. So this, I thought I'd have it bound off by this week, but I've been busy with other things. So I've been working on it today a little bit here and there. And that's in my Bird Legs Studios. I should check that and see. No, I was completely wrong. It's Front Range Bags. I have lost my mind. I don't even think I have a Bird Legs Studio bag. Where did that come from? Okay, I've been trapped at home for way too long. My brain is mush. So, anyway, now to what you've all been waiting for. Bum, bum, bum. The sweater. So, I am knitting. I always have it on the page with the pattern. I am knitting the Stroker by Isolde Teague. And I'm so excited because Stephanie from Knitting Samurai and her guys is joining in with our Cowl to knit a sweater. She finished her Miranda. And so she decided to join the Cowl we have going along to knit a sweater. And she's going to knit the Stroker as well. I'm so excited. That makes me happy because I just know there's going to come a point in this pattern where I just go, what? And so now I'll be like, Stephanie, please help me. Because I know you know what you're doing. So a lot has happened since you've seen this last. Okay. So I got to the point where I put in the stitch markers. Let's see. Yeah. Everything's flipped. I put in my stitch markers for the waist shaping, right? And I did my first set of decreases, and then you have to knit up a couple more rows. So I used the Progress Keeper that came with the bag that I got from Rainstorm Studios. I put the Progress Keeper in here so that I would know when I got to the right row, because you have to decrease again and then go up a certain amount of rows, decrease again. So I have finally found the joy that is the Progress Keeper. So, yay, I'm actually really enjoying it. The yarn is the Let Lopi, which, like I said, I'm sure that I'm completely butchering that because I'm sure it's an Icelandic word. I'll just say Lopi. How about that? I'll just say Lopi. And it's great yarn. Luckily, I swatched, and I washed the swatch first. And so I know that after this has been nicely blocked, it's going to come out beautifully. But right now, the yarn is a little bit of a pain. It's very, very sticky. I'm not sure if that comes across. And for those of you who've used it or probably know exactly what I'm talking about, it's, and of course I picked the gray color, so it's really hard to count the rows to see where I am at times, because there's times where you're like, knit 5 rows and then do this, or knit so many rows and do this, and with this gray and it's kind of small, you're just like, is that a stitch? You know, and then when you're knitting with it, it's a little bit sticky. It's a little bit, I don't know. It's just kind of a little bit of a pain to knit with. I know the finished results are going to make it worth it. And it's not like it's such a pain that I want to just not knit with it and put it down. It's not like that. It does make my nose itch, though. Every time I knit with it, I'm like, oh. So I probably, sorry, it's so rude. It just went right up my nose. I probably will not knit with this yarn again, but I will finish this sweater in it and probably be perfectly happy with it because it is nice yarn, and I know that it will block up and be very soft and very warm and kind of itchy. So I think it'll probably be one of those that you want to wear a shirt underneath, which is cool. I can do that. So now on to all of my crazy life experiences that have went on, right? So I had Valentine's Day, and I told you about hubby making reservations at my favorite restaurant. We had a wonderful dinner, and he took me to, we love going to the bookstore. That's just like, seriously, since we've been dating for like 17 years, that's like our favorite activity. And I rarely buy books. It's because I'm an e-reader. You know, I was reading on my iPad for the longest time, and then I found that I was playing more games than reading. Not good, right? I just realized that I could be knitting while I tell you this. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what would be the best thing to knit. I never get to knit and talk with you guys. I'm going to try it. We're going to try this, see how it goes. So anyway, we never buy books, but we like going to the bookstore. It's relaxing. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw me post. I was knitting on Elaine's socks and the Barnes & Noble. Yeah, the Barnes & Noble. And I always get a lot of good book ideas from there because I'll go browse the books. And every once in a while I do buy real books simply because of the fact that I'll tell you all my secrets. I like to read in the bathtub. And I'm obviously not going to bring my Kindle or my iPad into the bathtub with me, right? I'm not that crazy or desperate yet. So every once in a while I do buy a book just for that purpose so that I can, they're called bathtub books. Even the kids know them. They're like, oh, did you get a bathtub book? I'm like, yes, I did. So, hubby surprised me. We left the bookstore and went to Best Buy, and he got me a new Kindle. It's the paper white. I've been using the old, actually I have a super, super old Kindle that had the keyboard on the bottom. And then, I don't know what happened to that one, but I started using my son's Kindle, which looks more like this one, but it's not the touchscreen version. It's the regular one that still has a couple keys, not keys, but buttons down here. And so I was using his, and my husband was like, we're going to go get you a Kindle. So we're going to get you the Paperwhite, which I don't know if anybody's ever used it, but it's the kind that, and let's see if this could pick this up. All right, see how, there we go. See, the light comes on. Isn't that cool? I love it. It's so cool. Of course, that's an ad. I don't know what, it's a Land Rover ad. I don't know. So, speaking of reading, and they gave me 30 days of Amazon Prime, so I've got some shows to tell you about from that because I don't do Amazon Prime. And I got 30 days free for Kindle Unlimited, which I'm actually considering keeping because it's $9.99 a month. So minimally, if you read 13 books a year, it pays for itself. Kind of, yeah, you know. But last year I read 30 books. So for me, it would actually be pretty advantageous. So I subscribed to it this month. We'll see how it goes. I am on the last book of the Origins trilogy. In fact, I want to say I'm on book 3, which is Atlantis World. Yes. Okay, see how everything is. Now they've got the version where it shows you the pictures of the book, so it actually looks like a bookshelf, but I prefer the old school stuff because I'm old school like that. Oh, and I accidentally pressed the right book. I'm at 73% of the 3rd book, so I am almost done with this trilogy, which is probably a good thing because I'm obsessed. Like, seriously, I can't even go to sleep. It's just, and the only reason it's taken me this long to get through it is it's been snow days, so you would think I'd get more reading done. No, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So when the kids are home, my attention goes to them. And with 3 kids, it's there's no time for reading. There's just not. So I've actually gotten less reading done and less knitting done this week than I normally do. But, so hopefully all will go back to normal very soon and I'll get some more reading done because I need to finish that book because it has consumed me. Like, seriously. In fact, I've talked about it so much and won't let it go to the point where my husband is reading it now. And I woke up this morning and he was sitting on the couch. He had gotten up earlier than me because it was a nice day, so nobody had to get up early. But he was up and he was sitting on the couch and he looks up. He's like, I'm at 40%. Like, I know, right? You can't put it down and you don't realize how much you're reading. So, anyway, I will stop ranting about that, right? Let's see. Okay. I finished the first two. I'm on the third one. And, oh my gosh. So, yeah, his big romantic gesture. He gets me the Kindle, right? And I'm so excited. And I come home that night, and it's Valentine's was Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night. So I stayed up reading, like all excited and like, ooh, doo-doo-doo. And it's like, maybe like 12:30. Might even have been 1 in the morning. And I set the Kindle down next to me. And I go to pick up my iPad because it dinged. I don't know. So it dinged. So I pick up the iPad. And I think it was a message, and I check it, and I was like, oh, whatever, put it down. I pick my Kindle back up, and it's booting up. And I was like, well, that's weird. And I thought, okay, it's probably doing an update. It's a new Kindle. It's probably updating the software, right? So I wait for it. It's going through the process of updating, and it turns itself off. So I turn it back on, thinking, okay, it's over, it's done with. I turn it back on, white screen. Nothing there. I was like, are you flipping kidding me? I mean, seriously. So I'm thinking, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Who do you call? Who do you call at 1 o'clock in the morning about your broken Kindle that isn't going to think you're crazy, right? So the first thing I do is I call my husband. I go in the bedroom and I'm like, you're the only person that has to love me even though I'm crazy. It's like, my Kindle is broken and I'm so sad, and Best Buy is closed, and at that point it had already started icing on the roads and snowing, so it wasn't like, I could just go run to Best Buy and exchange it. No, I'm stuck with this thing in the ice and the snow, broken. And I'm like, okay, not the end of the world. I do have my other Kindle that I was using that works perfectly fine. It'll be okay. So the more I think about it, the more aggravated I get. So I find the Amazon number on their webpage and I call them, which of course I'm not going to get connected to anybody in America because it's 1 o'clock in the morning, right? So I first get connected to goodness knows where. I don't know. And she walks me through trying to fix it. And I'm like, I tried that. And she's like, well, can you put it on the charger and make sure it's fully charged? And I'll call you back in half an hour. I'm like, sure. Why not? At this point, I'm up and I'm aggravated. I'll wait half an hour. So about 2:15, I'm like, you haven't called me back. So I call them back. And at this point, I get connected to a woman in South Africa. And so then the fun begins because she helps me out. She has me a new Kindle shipped out within 10 minutes. She's like, I'm so sorry. This blah, 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 blah. Gives me the technical reasons as to why it happened. It wasn't my fault. They're very, very sorry. She's like, we're literally putting in the order to ship it out. We're going to overnight it to you. It'll be there whatever day it was that it was supposed to be here, which got delayed because of the ice and snow. And then we start talking, and I had a 45-minute conversation with this lady from South America. She's in Cape Town, South Africa. I see South America. South Africa. Cape Town, South Africa. She's originally from Johannesburg. She's 24 years old. I know way more about her than I should. We had this wonderful discussion. It was so great. I don't know. It's kind of like, how people have pen pals. And they love having pen pals. It's a great way to find out about other people, and especially if you have a pen pal who is in a different country than you are, because, we get very we think that the way the world operates is the way the world operates within our, little sphere that we have going on, and it's not. And so it's just fun. Like, I would have way more fun than having pen pals if I had, like, phone pals. And, like, once a week I could have a conversation with someone from a different country. Somebody should invent that. Yeah. Call it phone pals. But I do like to talk. You're shocked, right? Everybody's like, oh, no, not her. She doesn't like to talk. So anyway, that was the highlight of having my Kindle broken, is that I got to have this one. Oh, and her name was Cowl. Khali. And I know that because I wrote her a raving review to her superior when I was done. Cowl from South Africa was wonderful. And so, anyway, it was a bad thing that turned into a good thing because, you got to find the good in the bad, right? Yeah. And it's not like, and I told her, I was like, I know this is such a silly problem. It's, at this point, it was like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, it's 2:30 in the morning in Arkansas. She was asking me where Arkansas was in relation to North America, and I was explaining it to her and whatnot, and how cold it was here. And she's like, oh, it's a beautiful 79 degrees here. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot what 79 degrees feels like. It's so flipping cold. But anyway, so got all that worked out. Got my new Kindle. Happiness is me. Yay. I need to knit a cover for it so that, because like a book, I take it everywhere. So I will literally just throw it in my purse or my knitting bag and go, because it's kind of like my knitting. I can't not have my book with me. It's like one of those security things. I don't know. So I need to knit one of those little sleeves. I used to have one knit. I wonder if it's in my, I'll have to go hunting for it because I know it's got to be somewhere. If not, I'll just knit a new one. So, okay. What else do I want to tell you about? Let's see. Oh my gosh. What I've been watching. Okay, so that is the one good thing about snow and ice days. Lots of things to get to watch on television. So I watched Stonehearst Asylum on Netflix. It's a movie. It has Ben Kingsley, Michael Caine. Who was the woman? It wasn't Keira Knightley. I don't think it was Cate Blanchett. It was somebody like that. It was somebody super awesome. I don't know. It was really, really good. You spend the first half kind of getting into the movie, and then the second half you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then at the end you're like, oh! I love movies like that. But it was a really good movie. The acting, obviously, come on. Ben Kingsley, Michael Caine, it was superb acting, and it was set in an asylum. And it wasn't scary. It wasn't a scary movie. It was suspense. A suspenseful thriller, maybe? I don't know how you qualify it, but definitely suspenseful. But it was very, very good. And I'm not sure how it would rank on kid-friendly. Luckily, all my kids were upstairs when I was watching it. I don't think there was if I remember correctly, there's not a lot of bad language in it. There might have been one or two little blips of language. But overall, I wouldn't say it was completely don't have the children around type of a show. It wasn't like American Horror Story or something like that, So, I think it was all right. Yeah. I say that somebody's going to email me and be like, I let my kid watch this. Don't let your kids watch it. I'm just saying if they walk in the room, pause the show. You'll be okay. Okay. So, and I mentioned that I had Amazon Prime for 30 days because I got the Kindle. So they gave me 30 days of Prime. And I checked it out because I've never used Prime before because we have Netflix and other things. We have other things. And so I found one of the PBS masterpieces, which is basically, I don't know if PBS produces those or if BBC produces them and PBS picks them up and shows them to us. So I'm not sure because it's set in London and it has Benedict Cumberbatch in it. Yummy. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. For those of you who don't know who that is, he's Sherlock. He was also in Star Trek. He played Khan. Yeah. And he's hot. Go on. He's Benedict Cumberbatch. In my opinion, he would make an awesome doctor. like for Doctor Who. Oh my gosh! Except that I don't know. Now they usually get people who aren't as well. I don't know if they would use him or not, but I think he would make an awesome Doctor. That's just me. But nobody from BBC has called to ask me, so as far as y'all know now, my opinion has been said that I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be an awesome Doctor. I've been saying that since the first episode of Sherlock. I'm like, I love him. He's awesome. Anyway, the name of the show is called The Last Enemy, and it's 5 episodes, and because it's like a little mini series. It's not it says season 1, so I thought that it was a series, but it's not. It's 5 episodes, and it's over with, and I'm just now starting episode 2. It's I'm not sure what you call it. A high-tech movie. It's about technology. So, it's really good. It has Benedict Cumberbatch in it. I'm not really sure I should say more than that. Then it just has Benedict Cumberbatch in it, so you should watch it. Enough said. So, let's see. What else? So I needed a new show. I finished Medium, and I've been, like, hunting for new shows, and I found one called Crossing Lines. It has Donald Sutherland in it, and I'm sure the other actors may be people of note, but I don't know because they're not on my radar. But it's a crime. The first episode, they're solving a serial killer murder, and the whole point is that when crimes cross state borders, not state borders, they're international, they're in Europe. When they cross country borders, so like a murder would take place in Amsterdam, and then in Paris, and then in London, those people wouldn't necessarily, it would be kind of like in America if a serial killer committed a murder in Arkansas and Florida and then New York. Well, those police detectives aren't going to talk to one another necessarily. There's no real network for that, set up for that. I mean, I guess they're supposed to be. I guess technically that's what the FBI is for. And I guess that's technically what maybe Interpol is for. I don't know. But the whole show is that they have a special task force that is made to deal with that problem. And so that's what the show's about. They catch criminals who cross over country lines, state lines. Hence the title, Crossing Lines. So, yeah. I'm only on episode 2, but I think that it's really good. I enjoy it. So, okay. There was something else. Oh. Yay. I found it. Yes. Remember, I lost it? So I found it. As you can see, I've marked it up, right? So this is the Interweave Knits Spring 2015. Can you see that? Yes. Spring 2015. Episode. Whatever. And it has a ton. Somebody wanted me to do a little review. So I'm going to do a little review of it. It has beautiful shawls in here. I mean, just gorgeous. And these two are knit on. They're the kind where you knit the regular crescent shape in the garter stitch, and then you do the knitted cast on border. So the border, I'm not saying I said border, edging. The edging is a knit on edging, which the last one I did like that was Piper's Journey. Yes, Piper's Journey. Yeah, it had a knitted, didn't it? Is it Piper's Journey? Okay, I did Piper's Journey, but now I can't remember if the edge was knitted on. Cedar Leaf Shawlette. Never not knitting. What is her name? Alana Dacos? I'm probably butchering her name. Very sorry if I am. I very much doubt she watches the show, so I don't think it matters. But that was a gorgeous, like, just, oh, I love that knit. I might have to bring that on the show one day and show it to you, because it was one of those knits that I'm so happy that I knit, because it's gorgeous. Here's another close-up of that gray one, because it's called the Potter's Shawl, so I'm really thinking about knitting that one. It's beautiful. Okay, and so now that I'm, like, knitting this sweater, I'm all like, yeah, I got mad skills. I'm, like, looking at sweaters to knit, because, you know, loving this. Not for me. I'm totally, like, too old and way not skinny enough to carry this off. But my daughter is, and how cute is that? Look how the back, okay, where are we? Where are my fingers? There. See how the back goes down? How cute is that with a little shirt under it? I love that. I think it's the coolest thing. So I've got to go look and see what kind of, it looks like it's knit on fingering weight or maybe even lace weight yarn. It looks rather tiny. I didn't look at the pattern for that one yet. I just saw it and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I like this one. I wouldn't knit this one, but I love the construction. I think the construction is just very, very interesting. I mean, it's just, okay, because I like crescent-shaped shawls as opposed to triangle shawls. Just my preference. And this one kind of is the best of both worlds. And I love how it comes down at the bottom. Let's see right there. Like, it comes down deeper. Like, the V at the bottom comes down deeper than the shawl. I don't know. I just thought that was very interesting. And this cardigan is, it's called the Union Station cardigan. I'm trying to just get the pictures in here. I think that's cute. It looks simple. I say simple like I'm some kind of like guru that can knit all the things. But I don't know. And then I love this. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. I am seriously considering knitting this. I mean, granted, it would be way down. It's called the Endless Rose Cowl by Jeffrey Wall. And the yarn's by the yarn guy. Oh, I can't even say the name of that yarn. I don't even know what that is. It's knit on those 2.5 needles. So it's obviously it's probably fingering weight yarn. It's gorgeous. I mean, it would be way down on my queue, but like seriously, I'm keeping the magazine just for that. Like there's other things in here that I want to knit that I would consider knitting, but I'm going to knit that. Like for real. Like seriously. And then I saw this and I thought this was beautiful. It's very classy. I don't like how they have it stretched over her boobs. Like they got it closed at the bottom. It looks very ill-fitting, doesn't it? Like maybe the model wasn't made to wear that. Maybe they should have just left it open and it would have looked better. It looks like she's trying to squeeze herself into it. And you know she's a teeny tiny little girl because she's a model. So yeah, I didn't like that. But this sweater's gorgeous. It just looked like she needed a bigger size in the bust. So, I don't know. Overall, good magazine. Worth it. There are tons of things to knit in here, especially that cowl. Oh my God. Like, seriously, that makes me so happy. Like, it makes me want to go order the yarn, like, right now. And I'm thinking I could even use, like, Knit Picks palette, right? I mean, come on. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The chroma would look so pretty because with the white and the chroma would do the color changing effect as it went up. Yeah. Oh, I'm inspired now. That makes me uber happy. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So, yay, I answered my first question. So, I've got on the Southern Girls Knits Facebook. I'll get this right in a second. Ravelry page. We have a Ask Me All the Things thread, which I probably need to mark. And that was the first question, was to review the magazine. I was going to go ahead and do the second question today, but I just looked up, and this is the longest episode I've ever recorded. I guess with the snow day, and I had so much to say, and yeah. So sorry about that. I've like totally talked your ear off today. And I still feel like I'm forgetting something. How crazy is that? But whatever I'm forgetting, I will write it down and I will tell you next week because I'm sure you're tired of hearing me by now. I have talked way too long. So I will just go ahead and say goodbye, and don't forget to always be awesome, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.